The Scottish Premier League has been dominated by Celtic and Rangers for the best part of 40 years. Nobody since Aberdeen won the title in 1985 has managed to topple Celtic or Rangers, with Celtic dominating the league, especially in the more recent years. However, this season, it could all change. Hearts are flying. Having recently beat Celtic at Celtic Park 2-0, the Jam Tarts are top of the league and could be set to change the course of history. So today we make sure this actually happens as we take charge of Hearts with the ultimate end goal of dominating Scotland and winning the UCL trophy. But realistic transfers make a return in this rebuild, which really throws a spanner into the works. So this is the Hearts team we have loaded into in FC26, and it is actually a pretty decent team on paper. You'd expect so, given they are top of the SPFL at the minute. However, we do have quite a few players out of contract. We've got a centre mid at right back, a left back at right mid, so I will be changing the team up ever so slightly. But all in all, pretty good squad. And Hearts have actually got one of the best young players in FC26, James Wilson. If you don't already know, we've used him before in a previous rebuild, sold him for like 200 million, and he grew to 97 rated overall. We're gonna have to find a way to get him straight into the first team, and he'll be partnered by one of the Scottish Premier League's best strikers, Lawrence Shankland, who's 74 rated. They do also have Cameron Devlin, another really good player, 73 rated, 27-year-old. His contract is expiring though, we need to get that sorted. One thing I don't like about this Hearts squad is a lot of the players are actually aging. We don't really have many high potential players at the club. Looking to our younger players, we've only got 2 players younger than 20 and not many in their early 20s, which could hold us back for sure. And this isn't helped by the fact that this is a realistic transfer rebuild only, meaning we can't make any far-fetched signings. And I've had a little bit of a brainwave, boys. I'm going to revamp how I do realistic rebuilds on this channel. One thing I cannot control is the transfer fees, and on my Celtic rebuild, the main negative comment was about the transfer fees. After like season 3, season 4, you're going to be spending big money to sign anyone who's above like 76 rated, let's say. And without spending this money, your rebuilds just will not progress, and every single rebuild just turns into a free agent only rebuild. What I'm going to do instead is put some rules in place. So the top 4 in Scotland get European football, the top 2 get Champions League, 3rd place gets Europa League, 4th place gets Conference League. If we finish outside of the top 4 this season, we will not be able to sign anyone who is higher than 70 overall. If we qualify for the Conference League, however, this goes up to 73 overall. If we then qualify for the Europa League, this then goes up to 78 overall. Then once we get into the Champions League, we can sign whoever we want, any overall. Without getting into the Champions League and earning Champions League money, we won't be able to spend massive fees on players. And in these rebuilds, getting into Europe is imperative if we want to get better standard of players. But now that we get back to the video, we need to pick a formation we want to use for this team. So we've switched up the formation and we've landed on a 4-3-3 holding to kick off the rebuild. And we will also be going with a possession-based approach with this team. We're going to give James Wilson a season on the bench with a view to him becoming our first choice striker in season 2. And unfortunately for us, transfers will be banned in the first season, so we're stuck with this squad, meaning we will be locking the team in. Now, unfortunately, EA still hasn't added live start points for the Scottish Premier League. Of course, this is the case when Hearts are top of the league, meaning we've actually got a fresh season to attack with Hearts. And I'm being brutally honest right now, we're not going to do better than Hearts are in real life. Now, Hearts start off with £3 million in the bank, but obviously we've got a transfer ban for season 1. So the next best thing we can do is get rid of this shocking youth scout and bring a better one in. Now that we've got a better youth scout, we're going to send them out for season 1. Now, we always let you guys decide the nations we're going to be scouting, but for season 1, I do want to start scouting Scotland straight away. And while we're scouting in Scotland, we are going to be looking for goalkeepers. So I think we've pretty much covered everything we need to do for season 1. We're now going to simulate forward straight through to the end of season 1. Hopefully, we can have a really positive season before we start bringing in players in season 2. So we have arrived at the end of season number 1, and it's a 3rd place finish for Hearts. No league title, unfortunately. Hearts will just have to do the business in real life. Now, I think a 3rd place finish means Europa League football is secured. As things currently stand, we're allowed to sign players up to 78 rated, obviously dependent on what kind of budget we're going to get. And in the Scottish Cup, we could only reach the quarterfinals, losing 2-0 to Celtic. And this season, we were actually in the Conference League, and we did make the quarterfinals, ultimately losing to Crystal Palace. No shame in that. We've been really decent this season, and our starting 11 is looking decent on paper. We've had a lot of growth all across the pitch. Now, I'm making one massive decision heading into the new season. We are going to put James Wilson in as our starting striker. We all know how good his potential is in this game. That does mean Shankland will drop to the bench. Where else do I want to improve the team? Well, I definitely want to bring a new left back and right back in to help solidify our defence. Hopefully, we get a decent budget and we can make 2 decent but realistic signings. And our search for young goalkeepers in Scotland was very promising. as we bring in Riley Doe and Shane Ross, who have both got upwards of 94 and 93 potential. And we're losing a few players at the end of the season. Frankie Kent, Craig Halkett and Craig Gordon all did not ask for new deals and will all be leaving the club. We also lose centre-back Stuart Finlay, so we may have to bring a new centre-back in as well next season. We did have a decent season in front of goal. Obviously, Shanklin was our top scorer with 15 goals. We are taking a big risk in putting James Wilson into the starting 11 as he only scored 3 goals last season. So we have arrived in season number 2 and we've got a £7 million budget, which is pretty decent. Now, this season we are in fact in the Conference League, not the Europa League, which means we can only sign players upwards of 73 rated. To be honest, at this stage of the rebuild, that's not really going to make too much difference. And with Kent leaving the club, we are going to need 2 new fullbacks and a new centre-back as top priority. Our first signing of season number 2 is completed as we complete the signing of centre-back Jonathan Panzo from the free agents list. Now, Panzo is 25 years old and 71 rated with really decent stats. He's a player who hasn't really nailed down a starting position at any club he's been at. He's now got a chance to do so in the Conference League at Hearts, and I think this is a realistic signing, especially from the free agents list. And our first cash signing of the rebuild has been acquired as we bring in a left back from League One, as we complete the signing of Andrea Garcia from Reading for £2 million. Now, Garcia is 18 years old and 67 rated, can play a multitude of positions, very forward-thinking fullback who may even be better suited to being changed to be a left winger, to be honest. Reading have just been taken over by a new owner. £2 million could go a long way for them, and Garcia gets to play in the Conference League. I think this is a realistic signing. Do you guys though? Let me know down below. Looking at his stats, he is obviously a forward-thinking player, and 60 defending at the back may hinder us a little bit, so we're still yet looking for 2 new fullbacks. And we once again head back to England to make another signing, this time from the Championship, as a new left back has been acquired, as we complete the signing of Jack Curry from Oxford United for £1.5 million. And Curry is in to be our starting left back for the new season. 24-year-old, 70 rated. Definitely think he would make the move from Oxford to Hearts. I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. We have made our final signing of season number 2 as we complete the signing of Olivier Deman from the free agents list. And Deman rounds off our transfer window at 26-year-old, 72 rated, really decent stats, a little bit on the slow side. We're going to convert him from a left back to a right back, rounding off what I think has been a very good transfer window. Let me know in the comment section down below, have we kept the signings realistic? Now, for this season, we are back to using your recommendations when it comes to nations to scout for youth players. And as always, let me know in the comment section down below, where would you like me to scout next? And for this season, we are going with this comment. We are going to be scouting San Marino. We are going to be looking for players to fill the spine of the team, and I'm going to make things interesting. We must have at least 1 player from San Marino in our matchday squad when we reach the Champions League final. We have also sold a few players as well. 2 players have gone out on loan. The likes of Kingsley, Danda, Spittal and Cartram have been sold, along with Kabangu. However, I do think the starting 11 is looking very strong, taking us into the new season. So we've arrived at the end of season 2, and we've once again finished 3rd in the Scottish Premiership on 61 points, which I think means we are once again in the Conference League next season, meaning we're capped to signing players at just 73 overall. But we have gone on to win the Scottish Cup, beating Livingston 4-2 in the final, adding a Scottish Cup to our trophy cabinet. Now, I don't know if this has any impact on what competition we're going to be playing in next season. Is it going to be Europa League? Is it going to be Conference League? And this season we were in the Conference League and we got to the round of 16 but lost to Borussia Dortmund 4-2 an aggregate. No shame in that, as the team at the end of season 2 is definitely looking a lot stronger on paper. Everyone is well above 70 rated. However, there will be some significant change to the squad next season. Both goalkeepers Sholowu and Xander Clark will both be leaving the club as both players are retiring, and our young goalkeeper Shane Ross, who has grown by 12 overalls this season, will be our new number 1 from season 3. Now, the board have said we can carry over any remaining funds into season 3, and we have got 7 million in the bank, so we should be on for quite a good budget next season. And I think some positions we may need to improve are definitely centre-back. Nielsen, 71 rated and 24-year-old, is a really good player. Is he going to be good enough to take us forward? Probably not. I just hope we're actually in the Europa League and we can sign someone up to 78 rated. Now, in terms of stats this season, Alexandros Kaiserdis was amazing. 31 goals and 11 assists, going to 77 rated. He must have been the player of the year this season. So we have now arrived in season 3 and we've got a great budget of 14 million in the bank. And we are in fact in the Europa League this season, meaning we can sign players up to 78 rated. This is going to massively help us out this season. And along with signing a new first choice centre back, we're going to be looking for a new backup centre mid and and backup fullback as well. And we have completed our first signing of season number 3 as Luke McCowan joins us on the free agents list on a 3-year deal. McCowan is 29 years old and 73 rated, can play all across the centre of midfield. He is a fantastic player who's going to be a really good backup this season. I definitely think this is a signing Hearts could pull off in real life. And following up McCowan, we have brought in a really exciting new centre-back as we complete the signing of Jonas Ajeti from Basel for £7 million. Ajeti is 74 rated, 23-year-old and no-nonsense centre-back with really good pace and good defensive stats. But do I think Ajeti, the Hearts, is unrealistic? I actually don't. I do think Ajeti could be persuaded to join Hearts. And we are rounding off our transfer window with one final new addition as we complete the signing of Blum from the free agents list. Lewin Blum, might I add, completely forgot the guy's first name, who is 72 rated, 25-year-old, can play in both fullback positions, and as a free agent signing, I think this is a very good bit of business, rounding off what's been a very good transfer window. But what do you guys think, boys? Are the signings of McCowan, Blum and Ajeti realistic? You'll have to let me know in the comments. And heading into season 3, this is going to be the Hearts team. We're going to lock the starting 11 in for the new season. This is a fantastic team on paper. Now, I think there's going to be some outgoings as well this season. We are going to be losing Xander Clark, whose contract is expiring, and Lawrence Shankland's handed in a transfer request. And I think Benigime has handed in a transfer request as well. So we could be losing both these players. And it is a sad day for Hearts as key players have left the club. Lawrence Shankland, Pierre Kabore and Benny Benigime have all left the club. We've raised nearly £10 million for these players. So do you know what, boys? I'm just going to simulate forward straight through to the end of season 3. Can we improve finally on a 3rd place finish? There's only one way to find out. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and it's once again a 3rd place finish for Hearts. Although we do close the gap to Celtic and Rangers, we still can't punch into that top 2. So I think that means we're back in the Conference League next season and back restricted to players 73 rated or under. And we couldn't defend the Scottish Cup, knocked out in the quarterfinals by Aberdeen. A little bit of regression shown this season. But our starting 11 is looking very strong on paper. I'm really happy to see Ross has grown by 5 overalls to 72 rated. I think this team is very strong on paper. However, we won't actually be able to improve this team next season. And because we can't really improve the starting 11 next season, I am going to look to bring a new backup right winger and probably a backup centre back in as well with our money. And at the end of the season, we will be losing Harry Milne. He will not accept a new deal. He wants to leave the club. And in terms of stats this season, James Wilson was our best player, getting 24 goals and 5 assists. Kaiser Ridis and Deman had really good seasons as well. Deman with 11 goals from right back. That is insane. So we have arrived in season 4 and we've got a transfer budget of £15 million. Now, to be honest, this doesn't really matter because we're restricted to signing players under 73 rated. Let me just check actually and make sure we are actually not in the Europa League. Oh no, we are in the Europa League. That is excellent news. Right, we can sign players 78 rated or below, which really changes how we're going to approach this transfer window. Thank God for that, by the way. So looking at the team, there's 2 players I think we need to improve on. That's Jonathan Panzo and Deman, especially Deman, who is 28-year-old and 75 rated. He would be a really good utility player. I don't feel like he's good enough to start games for us. If we can bring a new centre-back and right-back in this transfer window, we could really push on and challenge Rangers for that all-important 2nd Champions League spot. And we have completed our first signing of the 4th season. A new centre-back has been acquired as we complete the signing of Ronnie Edwards on a free contract from Southampton. Now, Edwards is 75 rated, the same as Jonathan Panzo, but he has got upwards of 83 potential, which could be massive for us. He's a really good defender, 25-year-old, 75 rated, 6'1" as well. Definitely think Hearts could sign Ronnie Edwards if he was on a free contract. Of course, he would want to play Europa League football. As far as the first signing of the window goes, I'm really happy with this one. And we have made our 2nd signing of season number 4. A new backup right winger is in as we complete the signing of Musa Yeo, 73 rated, 24-year-old winger who's in to be a backup. He looks like a really decent player. And now we've got up to 14 million to improve the right back position. And our final signing of season number 4 has been acquired. A new right back is in the building as we complete the signing of Kobe Corbani for £11 million. He signs from Excelsior Rotterdam. He's 23-year-old, 75 rated, fantastic stats, can play a multitude of positions, and he has got upwards of 86 potential in FC26. Now, the transfer fee is unrealistic. As we've already discussed, we can't keep the transfer fees realistic in FC26. But do I think Hearts, a team in the Europa League, could snipe Corbani from a mid-table Eredivisie side? Absolutely. Do you guys think it's realistic? Let me know in the comment section down below. And we now only have 3 million in the bank, so our transfer window is done in terms of incomings. And once again this season, we are going to be scouting San Marino. We have also also said goodbye to quite a few players, boys. Osin McKenty, this guy whose name I can't pronounce, and Alan Forrest have been sold. We've loaned out a couple of youngsters, and we've also sold Magnuson, McCart and Kajota just to trim the squad down, boys. None of these players would have really got any minutes for us, and that means this is going to be the Hearts team to take us into Season 4. This is a fantastic team on paper, boys. That is, in fact, locked in. We now have a very, very strong bench as well. In multiple positions, we are covered. We're now going to be simulating forward straight through to the end of the season. Is this the season we break into the top 2? There's only one way to find out. So we have arrived at the end of season number 4, and lads, we have won the Scottish Premiership, finishing top of the league, 1 point clear of Rangers in second place, 91 goals scored, and a Scottish Premiership added to our trophy cabinet. And you know what comes with that? Champions League football. And there's no overall cap on players we want to sign. We can sign whoever we want. And we have made it a domestic double, winning the Scottish Cup, beating Celtic 2-1 in the final. That's our second Scottish Cup of the rebuild to the cabinet. What an absolutely unbelievable season. And no shame in the Europa League. We made the round of 16 but lost to PSV 4-2 over 2 legs. Honestly, we have been amazing this season, and our team is definitely starting to take shape. We have got 3 players in the starting 11 above 80 rated, with a lot more to follow. I genuinely think by the time season 5 is done, we are going to have a full squad of players above 80 rated. We do need to bring some new signings in though, and I think we need a new central midfielder to replace Ageyu and another central midfielder to replace Nieuwenhof. They are both in their late 20s and are yet to crack 80 rated, and they are the 2 lowest rated players in our starting 11. I think they'll both be excellent rotation options, but 2 first choice central midfielders are needed to progress this team forward. And in terms of stats this season, James Wilson was incredible. 24 goals and 20 assists. He has been amazing in this rebuild. Kaiseridis, Nieuwenhof and Garcia had good seasons as well. Really impressive our performance this season. Bring on the Champions League in season number 5. But we are now in season 5. We've qualified for the Champions League. Surely that means a massive budget. No, we've got 17 million in the bank, which is a shocking budget, and I need 2 new central midfielders. We might have to do a little bit of wheeling and dealing in this transfer window. And now our first signing as a Champions League side has been completed. A free agent has been brought to the club as we signed Diogo Prioste on a 4-year deal from the free agents list. Now, Prioste is 25-year-old, 76 rated. He isn't actually an upgrade as of right now, but he has got upwards of 84 potential, so he will be in the future. Is it realistic though? Let me know in the comment section down below. We have also sold 2 players. Ageyu and McCowan leave the club for about 13 million. Both players did not want to sign new deals, but we have absolutely broke the bank to bring a sensational central midfielder to Hearts as we complete the signing of Lennon Miller for £24 million. He is 80 rated, 22-year-old, unbelievable stats. We got him for well below his market value. Formerly a Motherwell player, so I do think Hearts could make this signing if they were in the Champions League. Do you guys think it's realistic though? Let me know in the comment section down below. But we are left with just £1 million in the bank, so there's definitely going to be no more incomings. And the team we are taking into season number 5 and our first in the Champions League is absolutely amazing. We've got an excellent bench as well, boys. Multiple options. So let's simulate forward straight through to the end of the season and see how Hearts do get on in our debut Champions League season. So we have arrived at the end of season number 5 and we have won the Scottish Premier League again for back-to-back seasons, finishing 4 points clear of Rangers in second place, adding a second Scottish Premiership to our trophy cabinet, meaning once again in season 6 we're back in the Champions League. And we've done our second consecutive domestic double, beating Rangers 2-1 in the Scottish Cup final. That is our 3rd Scottish Cup added to the trophy cabinet. We are starting to become the dominant side in Scotland, and we would actually get to the round of 16 where we lost to Real Madrid 5-2 over 2 legs. Really cannot complain at that, boys. We have been excellent this season. And speaking of excellent, our starting 11 is looking absolutely unreal on paper. Miller has grown to 85 rated. We really need to be careful no big clubs come in and buy him off us, because that would be a travesty. With the budget we get next season, we're going to look to bring a new left back into the club to replace Curry, as he's 28-year-old and 79 rated. Really good player, by the way. Just not going to get us to the latter stages in the Champions League. That will probably use up all of our budget. And in terms of stats this season, James Wilson was incredible. 36 goals and 10 assists. He is an unbelievable player. Miller and Kaiseridis had amazing seasons as well. So we've now arrived in season 6 and we're still yet to get a good budget. We've only got 21 million in the bank, and we do desperately need a new starting left back. And we are finally back doing some youth scouting with your recommendations. And for this season, we are going with this comment. We are going to be scouting Trinidad and Tobago. And we have had a few outgoings to kick off the new season. Lewis Nielsen has gone to Almeria for £7 million. We have also sold Michael Steinwender and Finlay Pollock, the rotation players who are never going to get a kick. And we have brought in a new left back in what could be our only signing of season number 6, as we have signed Adam Asnu for £23 million. He is 79 rated, 24-year-old with really decent stats. He's got upwards of 86 potential, so he is going to be our starting left back for next season. I definitely think he'd want to move to Hearts from the Austrian Bundesliga. This is a massive opportunity for him. But that leaves us with just £5 million in the bank, meaning that's probably going to be our only incoming. So just the one change to the team heading into season 6. Asno is in at left back. This team is really strong, boys. We're locking it in for the new season. And we've also got some really good options on our bench as well. I genuinely don't think there's much more we can do but simulate forward straight through to the end of the season. We've been limited by our transfer funds in this window, but we've been super successful in the last few seasons. Can we carry on that success in season 6? So we have arrived at the end of the season, and obviously we've won the league again. We've done it in style. 93 points accumulated, 94 goals scored, 3 losses all season. The 3rd Scottish Premiership added to our trophy cabinet, but we couldn't retain our Scottish Cup. We lost to Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final, and in the Champions League this season it was a real disappointment. We were knocked out in the league phase after only winning 2 of our 8 games, showing there's still significant work to be done before we can win the Champions League. Now, before we check the team, boys, we had a really bad situation with contracts this season, and that forced my hand in the transfer market. Neuenhoff's contract was expiring and he didn't want a new deal, so we swapped him for Pierre Duomo from Watford. Similar overall and slightly younger, really decent player to be fair. And we also swapped Jonathan Panzo for Will Fish from Cardiff City. I think Jonathan Panzo has actually played for Cardiff before. Similar ages, similar overall. We just signed them because we were going to lose Neuenhoff and Panzo to free contracts. So this is how the Hearts team is looking at the end of season number 6. Very strong team on paper, but I think you know where I'm going to want to improve this team. I'm going to be bringing a new centre-back in to replace Ronnie Edwards, who's 81 rated and 28-year-old. He is a really good player to be fair. He's not got much potential, he's not going to get much better, and he's not going to help us get to a Champions League final. I'm also making one more really big decision this season. Cammy Devlin is 32-year-old, is 83 rated, he's probably our most consistent player. I'm going to be putting De Rosa, a San Marinian 20-year-old CDM, into the starting 11 because he has got upwards of 86 potential, and the sooner we start playing him, the sooner he's going to start growing. And at the end of the season, we are losing Claudio Braga, who's got one of the best chances in world football, as he doesn't want to sign a new deal. We could also be losing Musa Yeo, which I really hope doesn't happen. He's only got a year left on his deal and he's not yet asked for a new contract. And when it comes to the stats, obviously James Wilson was our top scorer. Lennon Miller, Kaiseridis and Garcia had good seasons as well. Really happy to see Polly get 10 goals from the bench. So we have arrived in season number 7 and we've only got £25 million. We're not going to replace Ronnie Edwards with this money. I may even have to sell him and reinvest the funds created from the sale in order to actually improve the squad, which, to be fair, more than likely I'm going to have to do. And I think it's highly likely we're going to lose Musa Yao, which is a real shame. I may look to the free agents list to bring a new backup winger to the club. And a new backup winger has been acquired as we bring in free agent Ozgur Limata on a 3-year deal. He is 26 years old, 77 rated, he has got decent stats, and he's still got a little bit of potential as well. He's not as good as Yao, but he will grow past 80 rated, I'm sure. A decent investment for the future, especially on a free contract. And 2 high-profile sales have been confirmed. Musa Yao and Ronnie Edwards both leave the club, actually raising around 50 million for us, and we've also loaned out a young striker. So we now have got £62 million in the bank to bring a new centre-back to the club, and Ronnie Edwards' replacement has been brought in. A new centre-back has been signed, but have we managed to keep this realistic? As we signed Vitor Reis from Club Bruges for 28 million. Now, Vitor Reis is 81 rated and 25 years old. In real life, he is a highly thought of youngster at City, but in FC26, his career has spiralled off. He's ended up in the Belgian Pro League. He's only 81 rated at 25-year-old. Something's clearly gone wrong. We're going to bring him to Hearts, the dominant team in Scotland. Besides the transfer fee being unrealistic, do you think this signing could happen if Hearts were the dominant team in Scotland? Now, we do still have 32 million in the bank, but I don't think Hearts in real life, if they had this massive sum of money, would go and blow it all on players. They'd want to hold some back. So that is going to be our transfer window done. We are banking this 32 million. So that means this is going to be the Hearts team to take us into the new season. We're locking the starting 11 in. Hopefully we can actually get out of the league phase this season in the Champions League. As we simulate forward straight through to the end of the season, we've dominated Scotland for the last 3 seasons, and we finally start performing in Europe. So we've arrived at the end of season 7. Yeah, we've won the league again. We've scored 90 goals again. It was a little bit tighter this season. Celtic were only 5 points behind us. But that's our 4th Scottish Premiership in the row added to the trophy cabinet. We couldn't win the Scottish Cup though, losing in the semi-finals. But in the Champions League, we were much better this season, finishing 12th. And we actually got to the quarter-finals where we lost to Bayer Leverkusen 6-4 over 2 legs. Now, the starting 11 is looking the strongest it's looked so far. This is a fantastic team on paper. Ross, Miller and Wilson all getting really close to 90 rated. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get a massive budget next season, and I would like to bring some players in for the left side of our team. A new left centre mid, a new left winger, maybe even a right back as well would be top priorities. Unfortunately though, boys, we're just not going to get a massive budget. Now, when it comes to the stats in season 7, James Wilson was dethroned as best player by 1 goal. Kaiseridis got 24 goals and 11 assists, where Wilson got 23 goals and 11 assists. We had a really impressive season in front of goal again. 5 players got 10 or more goals. So we have arrived in season 8 and we've finally got a good budget. 53 million sits in our bank account. Maybe we will be able to make 1 or 2 signings in this window. And we have wasted no time in signing a new central midfielder, and I am so excited about this signing. As we sign David Watson from Girona for 34 million. He is 84 rated, 27-year-old, excellent stats, still got a bit of potential as well. Now, apart from the transfer fee, which is wholly unrealistic, I actually think David Watson would be open to a return to his home nation, to Hearts. But my opinion doesn't matter, it's your opinion that does matter. Is this a realistic signing? Let me know in the comment section down below. And we still have 18 million in the bank. Is there more work we can do in this transfer window? And do you know what, boys? Throughout the course of this rebuild, we've been really lucky with teams not sniping some of our better players. However, Stuttgart have just come in for Adam Asnu, and they've offered 41 million for him. Having spent some of his career in Germany, he may look to want to go back. I think this would be unrealistic to reject, so we are going to accept the offer, and we now need to sign a new left back in this window. And we have signed a left back to replace Asnu, and I'm really excited about this signing. As we sign left back Diego Leone from FC Famalicão for 43 million. He is 25-year-old, 83 rated, got absolutely incredible stats, signing from a club who are mid-table in the Portuguese league, joining a Champions League team. I think the signing of the player is realistic. Obviously, I know the transfer fee isn't realistic. This is going to be the Hearts team to take us into season 8. What a team we've got on paper. Miller becomes our first 90 rated player. We are simulating forward straight through to the end of the season. We've got a really exciting team, but how are the Jam Tarts going to get on in season number 8? So we have arrived at the end of season 8, and lads, we've actually not won the Scottish Premier League. Celtic have won it. I mean, considering we've just won 4 league titles in a row, I'm not too disheartened about this. But in the Scottish Cup, knocked out in a quarter-final replay by Falkirk. I can let it slide because I've actually rebuilt Falkirk on the channel, but we'll have a chance to put that disappointment to one side as we're in the Champions League final, and we will be taking on PSG. Now, in the league phase, we did finish 6th out of all the sides, winning 5 of our 8 games, only losing once, meaning we went straight into the round of 16 and we comfortably beat Strasbourg 3-0 on aggregate, before setting up a tie with Real Madrid, who we beat 2-0 on aggregate, before setting up a semi-final, beating Arsenal 3-2 over 2 legs, winning the second leg 1-0. We kept a lot of clean sheets in our run to the final, showing our defence was really strong, ultimately setting up a final with PSG, our old rival. And this is the team we'll be taking into the Champions League final. We did switch the formation up a little bit. We changed to a 4-3-3 flat as De Rosa stopped growing. So Prioste comes back into midfield. We've got 2 90 rated players in Ross in goal and Miller in midfield. And in terms of stats, you already know James Wilson was our best player. Miller, Kaiseridis and Garcia had good seasons as well. And when it comes to the Hall of Famer, you already know who it is. James Wilson, for the 2nd time in FC26, is the Hall of Famer for the Hearts rebuild. He is easily one of the best players in FC26, and you've just got to try him out. So it all comes down to this, boys, the Champions League final between PSG and Hearts. So before we get into the game, we do need to check out PSG's team, and on paper it's looking very strong. They have got 92 rated Gyökeres up front, 91 rated players in midfield. They've got a really strong team and a 96 rated goalkeeper. Wow. So let's get the game on the way, boys, and hopefully when the full-time whistle blows, Hearts are the champions of Europe. We managed to get past the press, but oh, that's a good tackle by Leon, and we're in. And it's fell nicely for us. Across the box, Wilson, what a save by Marty. The 96 rated goalkeeper living up to expectation. Too close to the keeper, I think. No, it's not. Nope. Ready for a jet day. What a save. And cleared. Marty, he is going to be unbeatable in this game, isn't he? That's half-time, boys. It's 0-0. Tight game. Not many chances. I don't think PSG have even had a shot. And hopefully this second half is a little bit more entertaining because I do kind of need to make a video here. Wilson. Great ball to Garcia. Who's in? And he's got the pace. Can he finish? Can he finish? No, he's put it wide. Oh, my God. Up to Corbani. That is a great ball. Wilson's in the middle, across, Wilson, in the net in the 89th minute. James Wilson wins the Champions League for Hearts with the last kick of the game. And it had to be James Wilson, didn't it? A star man. Finally, someone makes a run in behind. It's a great ball across the box. And the only way we were beating Marty today was with a goal from inside the 6-yard box. Imagine if they score now. Gyökeres! Oh, what a chance. And that is full time, boys. We have won the Champions League with Hearts. The final, by no means a classic, but obviously our Hall of Famer James Wilson does the honours. And all that is left to do is lift the Champions League trophy, and Hearts are the champions of Europe. And that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. So just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. It does really help me out. We're getting close to 10,000 subscribers, and I will see you in the next one when we head back to the Championship.